Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So I'm doing another higher messages reading. This one is specifically going to be about obsession, or fixation on a specific person. More specifically, a specific person who you've been with who has moved on and chosen something over you, whether that be they chose a new relationship over you, or they chose their career over you. They chose their family over you, like maybe their family didn't like you and they chose that family, and you're having a hard time letting go and you're really fixated on it, and I'm just really trying to figure out how to break that very strong pull, that very strong energetic tie between you and this person. So hopefully, the messages that come through will give you some type of closure or clarity. So we're going to dive right into it. Before we even start, I'm going to say that most likely I'm going to be using the example of someone who moved on into a new relationship and this person is your ex. Now just kind of take it as it resonates and switch out the roles if you need to, meaning this could apply to you have an ex that chose a family member over you because the family didn't like you, or it could be that this is a former friend of yours who chose another friend and stopped hanging out with you. So just take it as it resonates, but just so it won't get confusing, I'm going to be reading it as your ex has moved on to someone else romantically. Okay. So for your overall energy, we have the Eight of Wands. So I do see that a lot of you have a lot of passion still for this person, which makes sense because this is a reading about, fixation and obsession. So it's like a lot of passion that you're still feeling for this person. It's a lot of built up, pent up emotion that you feel like you didn't get a chance to release. This could specifically be that some of you are not in contact with this person anymore, or when you do get in contact with them, it's very volatile. Like it's very, the communication is just off. There's something off about the communication. I'm going to pull one more. Yeah, but overall, I feel like there's a lot of just pent up, stored energy inside of you, and you don't know what to do with it. Let me pull one more. Yeah, the Knight of Cups being in the reverse. This is definitely a byproduct of being rejected, feeling rejected, and the emotional toll that it takes on you. Like it creates a lot of different emotions within your body and your mind, and that is what's kind of causing the fixation. Because with the Knight of Cups being here, this is like not being able to express yourself or express your love, or someone kind of not expressing their love or not giving you closure, and it's like a lot of energy and thoughts racing, and that's why there's like this obsession or this fixation. On the other side, your ex or the person that you're fixated on, we have the Five of Cups and the Six of Cups. Okay, so this is a general reading, but okay, how do I explain this? A lot of us who are in the same soul group will gravitate towards specific readings because we're going through very similar things at the same time. So I wanted to clarify that because some people might be thinking, well, how is it possible that you're able to pick up on this information when you're reading for so many people? And it's because, when you are on a certain frequency or you resonate with a certain soul group, we usually are going through very similar things and learning similar lessons. So yeah, I'm picking up that this situation resonates with a lot of you. This Five of Cups is an ex who is feeling remorseful or who is in a grieving process right now. With the Six of Cups being here, it's like they're thinking back on the past a lot, and it's causing them a lot of grief. Now, I do have to give one more disclaimer. I'm not trying to feed any obsession that you may have, meaning I'm not saying, oh, your ex is grieving, run back and hang on to them. I'm just giving you exactly what I see here. But I'm not trying to feed the fixation or to encourage you to, go backwards. This is strictly for moving forward and closure. So, like I said, I see an ex here that's grieving, that's reminiscing on the past, reminiscing on good times from the past. Let me pull one more. There is some regret here, possible regret about how things ended, regret about, I'm hearing disrespect. Like they could have been very disrespectful to you, or you could have been disrespectful to each other. But there's definitely remorse over the disrespect. Pull one more. Wow, the Four of Wands in reverse. Okay, yeah, it's definitely grief about a home or a family or connection being broken up, and this is referring to your connection with them. If they're not grieving now, they have grieved this connection. Some of you don't know that because for some of you, this person acted really unbothered about letting you go, but they did have to grieve. They had to grieve for a while, is what I'm hearing, because they did see the potential, or they did see the good qualities within this connection. So there was a grieving period that was here, even if you don't know it. Let me pull one more. Yeah, Nine of Cups in the reverse, feeling like, yep, feeling like your connection was a wish fulfilled for them, and that it just kind of went left. And there was a lot of disrespect involved. I'm just feeling a lot of regret with the Two of Swords being here. It crosses their mind a lot. Like their mind kind of plays tug of war with it. And they try to kind of get it out of their mind. Like they don't want to really think about it, but they did have to go through a grieving period. Now, the person that they moved on to, or they started a new connection with, we have the Page of Swords. Okay, I'm hearing intuitively that some of you are wanting a separate reading about obsession overall, not with this specific storyline. So I'll definitely do another one for those of you who sent me that, excuse me, that telepathic message just now. But the person that they moved on to, we have the Page of Swords here. So the person that they moved on to seems to be a bit immature with communication. I'm also seeing that this is the spy card, so this person could have been spying on you, or you could have been spying on them. You could have been spying on the new partner, kind of comparing and contrasting, or they could have been spying on you, or both. Pull one more. Okay, Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, the new partner, there's some abandonment issues going on in the new partner, like fear of abandonment. So if they can pick up on how strong your energy is towards this person, towards your ex, it can be making them a bit paranoid. Even if you don't like watch them on social media, or even if you've never interacted with them, it's like your energy is still felt very heavily even within their connection, because your connection with this person didn't close out properly. And that's why I always say that it's important to give closure and to close out your connections properly, because if you don't, then that can cause like that obsession or that fixation, and it's very hard to move on, you know, without a clean slate. Like you can still feel the other person's energy because you didn't give them the correct closure. So I feel like that's what's happening here, that your energy can kind of be intertwined within their connection, and it's like almost like the other partner, the new partner, can sort of feel it. And there is some abandonment issues here. For some of you though, I'm hearing that, I feel like this is a separate group, but just take it as it resonates. For some of you, I'm hearing that the new partner is very simple-minded, and I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean that maybe the connection doesn't have that much depth. So if you had this intense fear of abandonment, when it came to your ex, or they had that fear with you, it was because of the depth of the connection and how deep it is, or how deep it was. So there was a lot of fear and triggering. With this new partner, it's a little more shallow. It's not that deep. There's still feelings there, of course, but it's not that deep. So the connection is like, because it's less intense, it's easier to maintain, if that makes sense. It reminds me of a tweet that I tweeted a while ago, and I think it says something like, you know, some people will leave your connection, and you know, because it's too intense, and they would rather have a connection that's a bit more shallow. And I feel like that's what's going on here, but that's for a small group of you. Let me pull one more. Yeah, for some of you, I'm hearing that this person could have made you an option, meaning maybe they had the choice between you and this new person, and they chose the new person. And sometimes they question if they made the right decision. Let me pull one more. Five of Wands. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, the new person, it's like they have a desire to try to build something. Like they want to build like longevity, stability, but it's hard to do so because this connection is not energetically balanced. And again, that's why I say people should really close out their cycles properly, because the energy that you were carrying in your cycle with this person is in their new cycle as well. So it's hard to, build anything because it's just not a clean slate, is what I'm seeing. All right, so back to your side. We have the High Priestess, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. So with the High Priestess being here, I feel like a lot of you are needing to express yourself, because I'm reading this card as like keeping it all in. Like some of you are needing to talk to someone about this obsession. It needs to be professed. If that's the correct word, that's the word I'm hearing. Like it needs to come out of your mouth. It needs to be spoken out loud, what you're going through, because that's going to kind of help release the energy. For some of you, there's like a bit of shame going on here, like feeling like I should be over this already. So you don't really want to speak about it. You're kind of trying to bury it, but I feel like it needs to be spoken about with someone. It doesn't have to be with that person, but it's like it needs to be spoken about is what I'm hearing, because you lost something significant with the Ten of Pentacles being here in the reverse. This breakup or this person moving on, it was very significant and it was very damaging is what I'm seeing, because with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it's like having high hopes, like that there was going to be a family or that there was going to be long-term happiness, and then it falling apart. And that's deep, especially if you're someone who doesn't have a family of your own. Like maybe you're not that close with your own family. The thought that you were going to have a family with this person, it's a big deal. So when they leave and then they move on to someone else, it's a big deal. So some of you could be trying to suppress that or downplay how heavy it is, and that's what's going to really keep you kind of stuck. I also do feel like, and I said this in my Twitter thread as well when I wrote a thread about this, I do feel like a lot of you, oh God, I just lost the message. Hold on 1 second. Oh, okay. I feel like a lot of you, a need was being filled with this person. You had a need before you met them, and they filled that need. And so that's why you're also obsessed, because you're no longer getting that need met. So for example, I'm seeing family. So I'm saying that for some of you specifically, you had a desire or a need to build a family, right? And you made this person kind of like your family, or maybe you really had a desire for like just a place to call home, and this person was your home. So they filled a very deep void that you had before you met them. So it's natural that once they leave and your needs are not being fulfilled elsewhere, then of course you're going to be fixated on them, because it feels like, I need them to meet my needs. Like they're the only person that can meet my needs, because you felt so deprived before you met them. I really hope that makes sense. So the solution to this would be to find a way to get your needs met elsewhere. So with the Eight of Pentacles being here, this talks about working very hard to find a way to meet whatever need it was that was filled in you from this person. Let me pull one more. So for example, is it that this person was boosting your self-esteem, and before you met them, you had a very low self-esteem, and their attention kind of made you feel validated and kind of uplifted you? Then when they leave, that need is going to be there still. So that need needs to be filled, or else you're going to be fixated on them, because you feel as though they have to be the one to fill the need. And with the new partner, it's going to be especially damaging for you, because not only do you feel like this person is no longer meeting your need, but you feel like they're meeting someone else's need. And that's why, it's very easy to become obsessed and fixated. Let me pull one more. So it's going to take work. It definitely is. With the Eight of Pentacles being here, it's going to take Queen of Wands, very focused work. Like setting intentions and really, really putting energy and effort into it. Setting the intention of healing, recovering, and getting those needs met elsewhere, and doing it very boldly, strategically, and having a plan and really working towards it. So like I said, for example, let's say this person, boosted your self-esteem, and they're gone, and now there's a need for you to boost your own self-esteem, and you have to be very diligent with it, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, I think overall, when you come out the other side of this, and I know this is a cliche that no one likes to hear, but when you come out the other side of this, you're coming out the other side of it a much more bold, confident person, even if you don't know it. And also you're becoming very self-reliant, because you get to see firsthand how if you have a deep void and someone comes in and they appear to fill it, you now see how much power that person has over you, because once they're gone, it's like that obsession starts. But if you can try your best to fill that void before getting emotionally attached to other people, then they won't have this type of hold on you. And I think a lot of you have realized that, is what I'm hearing. So on their side, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Star card in reverse, and we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. So it looks like this person was someone who you were meant to come across. Like with the Wheel of Fortune here, that means destiny. It's kind of like fate, that you were supposed to come across this person. When you came across them, they were not healed. With the Star card, they were very lost, very broken, and I feel like you played a very significant role in their path as well. Like you opened up their eyes to something as well. So even though it may seem like a one-sided thing where you just feel like they maybe never cared because look how quickly they just forgot, or look how they just moved on, that's not the case, because you were meant to come into their life to teach them a lesson as well. They needed some sort of, like whatever path they were on, it was the wrong path. And so you coming into their life and then them leaving you, or things not working out and them, moving on elsewhere, I just keep hearing it's all a part of the plan. It's all a part of the plan. Let me pull one more. Because they needed their course to be redirected, and so you came into their life to redirect them, and vice versa. Moon card here, Ten of Wands. Yeah, with the Ten of Swords being here, the Ace of Swords being here, like I said, I feel like when you came into their life, they were very lost, very confused. They didn't have a lot of clarity about themselves or just about life in general. And I'm not sure, hold on one second, because I'm trying to connect these two cards together and it's like a disconnect here. Lost, everything being laid out on the table and then choosing a different direction. Yeah, you definitely redirected this person's course. You probably don't know it, but you were a very crucial part of their course or their path, is what I'm seeing. So I think that this message is coming through for those of you who feel like disposable, or as if all of this was for nothing, or that look how quickly they forgot. It almost feels like you think that this lesson was only meant for you and they kind of got off scot-free, and that's not the case here. That's definitely not the case. Yeah, with what is this? The World card, sorry. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on right now. My channeling just got all staticky. The World card being here and the Ace of Cups being here, like I said, there was a cycle that they needed to learn something in as well, and they played that out with you. Yeah, this is definitely for those of you who might feel like disposable, or that, this is just your lesson and they didn't learn anything and they got to move on and be happy, scot-free. No, there is a lesson that they needed to learn through this connection, and they're still learning. They're still learning. Even after moving on, seemingly, they're still learning the lesson that started within your connection. It started with you and it's continuing, is what I'm seeing. So let's see, messages from their higher self. We have the King of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. So this is what their higher self wants you to know, okay? With the King of Pentacles being here, their higher self basically wants you to know that they are aware of how selfish they have been. They are aware of how cruel they've been for some of you. For some of you, I'm picking up on someone who has a really bad temper. So if your ex had like a really bad temper, that's what I'm picking up on. But it's not for all of you. But if that resonates, then they're aware of the things that they've done during their temper tantrums, or during being upset or angry that was very detrimental. So yeah, their higher self wants you to know, like I said, that they're aware of how selfish that they have been, and they have suffered for it. With the Ten of Swords being here, they really did suffer when it came to this connection severing. And it might not seem like it, but they did. They did suffer right around the time that your connection ended too, I'm hearing that something else happened in their life that really caused them to hit rock bottom. Um, yeah, they suffered. And they're aware that they made you suffer. Let me pull one more. Two of Cups, yeah. Their higher self also wants you to know that they are very much aware, and this is all on a spiritual subconscious level, so they may not even know this consciously. This is their higher self that's speaking through. With the Two of Cups being here, this basically, the higher self is basically saying that they're aware that this was a very, very important connection. This was a soulmate connection. And again, with the Knight of Wands being here, it's like this connection was drastically needed because a drastic shift or a drastic change needed to happen within this person. So you are not insignificant, and you did play a major role in their life, is what I'm seeing. And there were some lessons that they refused to learn. So that's something that you can't beat yourself up over either, because there's some lessons, no matter if you cross their path like by divine timing, meaning that the universe calls you to cross paths, we all still have free will. So this person, their higher self wants you to know that they did use their free will foolishly. And there were certain things that could have been avoided in the connection. The ending, the way that it did, could have been avoided, but they were using their free will to be stubborn and to not change. But they had to basically pay for that. Like they underwent some sort of karmic lesson or repercussion for it, even if you didn't see it, is what I'm seeing. Pull one more. Yeah, no peace of mind. Three of Wands. The higher self also wants you to know that during your connection, I'm not sure if you were aware of this, that their mind was very, I'm hearing poisonous. Yikes. They were struggling during your connection is what I'm hearing. They couldn't find peace of mind. I'm not sure if it's because your connection with them was so like tumultuous, like hectic. But it's something about them not being at rest or them not having peace of mind. And they're always searching elsewhere. Yeah, no, this isn't about your connection. Wait, let me backpedal. Basically what I mean is that I'm not picking up that this lack of a peace of mind is about your connection being toxic. That's what I thought that was saying at first. But it's saying that they already didn't have peace of mind even before your connection. There we go. So even before your connection, they did not have peace of mind, and they are constantly wandering, trying to find happiness. And that's why it could seem that they move on so quickly, or they turn their back so quickly. It's like they are starved for happiness, or starved for like some sort of feeling. They're chasing a feeling. And that's why it seems that they can move on so quickly. They're chasing a feeling. They're trying to fill a void that was there before you even met them. Yeah, and with the Page of Cups being here, they would have to undergo a rebirth process in order for them to emotionally mature, because what I'm seeing here is that the higher self wants you to know that they did not handle things correctly. So for those of you who are thinking like it's your fault or that they weren't in the wrong, because sometimes that can happen. Like when we're obsessed or fixated on a person that has already moved on, we can start to demonize ourselves and feel like, okay, there's something wrong with me then, obviously, because they're just moving on so quickly. It must be me that's the problem, and that's not the case. This person is emotionally immature, and they're going to have to do a bit of growing up, because despite whether or not the connection needed to end, I feel like they kind of went about it the wrong way. But they would have to go within themselves and kind of seek that out and see that. Hold on 1 second. Just going to reshuffle. I'm going to pull cards for their new relationship, and we're not going to spy on their relationship. I'm just going to get the overall energy and any messages that you need to hear. Let me pull one more. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, So their other connection, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands in the reverse. With the other connection, there's stagnant energy. There's something that's blocked. There's something that's stuck. And I do feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that your energy is still present because of the fixation. And again, that's not your fault, because it feels like this wasn't closed out properly, or you just don't know how to let it go. I feel like a lot of you want to let it go and move forward, but you don't know how to. So, but there's definitely some stagnation in the new connection. Like I said, it could be because your energy is still kind of lingering, and until there's closure, then, you know, there's still going to be blocked energy. But also I'm hearing that your ex, or the person who moved on to someone else, they there are certain lessons, like I said before, that they did not learn. They kind of used their free will to ignore what they were supposed to learn. And so it's like they're trying to build something stable elsewhere, but there's this huge blockage, and they don't understand why. They don't understand why, or they don't understand like why there's so much static within their new connection. And that's because there was a certain way that they were supposed to go about your connection that they didn't, and there were certain lessons that they were supposed to learn from your connection and didn't. So there's still something that they're not seeing. A lot of the problems that you had with this person, it's repeating in their new connection. And it's like, yeah, they really can't see it. They really can't, because they want to build something solid, and they can't see that they themselves are not solid. And that's why they have a problem building solid things. Pull one more. Yeah, I'm just hearing that this would be the type of person who's just like, you know, I'll just move on to something else, whatever. And like, and again, this doesn't have to be romantic. This could be like a friend. It's kind of like, well, I'll just move on to something else, without actually seeing or knowing that they themselves are trying to fill a void, and that the lessons that they were meant to learn through you would have helped them to fill that void. But instead, they're using their free will to fill that void in kind of an unhealthy way by moving on to something quickly. Yeah, they're avoiding. Yeah, wow. Yeah, they're ignoring a lot of the things they were supposed to learn. Yeah, this person, there's trauma here with the Nine of Wands being here. There's something beneath the surface that needs to be looked at. I also feel like there's this paranoia with this person as well. Yeah, so their new connection, whatever they moved into, there's a lot of paranoia. It's not a clean slate. It's just not. And it very well could be, like I said, because they didn't close out the connection with you properly. So it's not a clean slate, but also because of whatever they've been through, they have trust issues anyway. So that's coming up in their new connection as well. Pull one more. Okay, so the lesson that this new connection was supposed to teach you, like them moving on to this new person, was that things are not always as they seem. That's one major theme that's coming up in this reading. Things are not always as they appear. For some of you, your mind has been playing tricks on you. You thought that this person moved forward and is living this fairy tale life, and it makes you feel even worse. It makes you feel fixated on them even more. And that's not the case. That's not what's happening. They're not living a fairy tale life. They're not, and I'm not just saying this to make you feel better. Like, this is literally in the cards. They're not living a fairy tale life, and things are not always what they appear. So there's a need for you to stop devaluing yourself and kind of painting in your mind that they have moved on to this magnificent space in their life. You know, that's not the case. This connection with the Six of Pentacles being here, this talks about balance. So finding balance within yourself. So this connection, or them moving on to a new connection, is going to help you to find peace and balance. Because like I said, there was a void that you had before this person, and they were fulfilling some sort of need in you. But obviously, you know, the connection, something was off about it, or it wouldn't have ended, you know. So they filled this void and this need. And because now you've developed this obsession, you are going to work hard to break it. And so basically you're working hard to fill that void. It's like taking the long way around, but you get there eventually. Like, the void can be filled outside of this person, but you probably didn't know that the void was there until they appeared. You see what I'm saying? So the void being there just amplified with them leaving. And it like forces you to now have to go within and look at that void that has always been there. Yeah, so that's what this obsession, or them moving on quickly, was supposed to teach you. It also basically made it so that there can no longer be access to each other. There's like a blockage, like this new connection is a blockage between you and this person, because you're not supposed to be communicating. You're not supposed to be. It's something about the separation, or separating, was a part of the plan as well. It's like divine intervention. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The moving on quickly, it puts a barrier. Yep, it puts a barrier between you two. So it could have been that maybe you had a hard time breaking up with this person, or they had a hard time breaking up with you. You kept finding your way back to each other, and there was like a repetitive negative cycle that kept happening. And so now it's like there's this interference that comes in, this new, whatever that steps in, and it kind of forces you apart so that you can find peace of mind and you can find balance within. Because there was something about that connection that was imbalanced anyway, is what I'm seeing. So everything that's happening is definitely helping you to find independence and helping you to fill that void that was already there. Like I said, sometimes it takes for us to take the long route. Sometimes we can't just sit and realize, I have a void in me, let me fill it. Instead, what will happen is the universe will usher in someone who will kind of put a spotlight on that void, because they'll fill it and then they'll leave, and it really like shines a very bright light on that void that was there. It's like you always knew it was there, but it's amplified after the separation takes place and after they move on. And then it turns into you filling that void and meeting your needs and becoming much more independent and happy within yourself, is what I'm seeing. All right, so advice for you. We have the Three of Cups, and the Hermit card. All right, so your advice for breaking this obsession, like I said, there's a need for you to first analyze what this person gave you. What was the need that they filled? And figure out how you can fill it elsewhere. Not with another person, but elsewhere. Doesn't have to be like filling it by getting into another relationship. Like, for example, if this person motivated you and then they left and you are very distraught about it, it could be now you're needing to find another source of motivation. You see what I'm saying? It's like whatever was there before, needing to find an alternative for it. With the Three of Cups being here, it's saying, I'm hearing friendship. So it could be saying that there's a need for you to get out more, spend more time with friends, because I know that like obsession and fixation can eat up a lot of your time and energy, and sometimes it makes you just want to kind of lay around and not really do much, because all that mental energy, it does take a toll on you, it weighs on you. And it's saying healthy distractions are going to be a good thing for you to help break this fixation. Let me pull one more. Yeah, because a lot of you feel very deeply rejected, and so you have to kind of submerge yourself in the opposite energy of rejection. So the opposite of rejection would be, feeling worthy, feeling valued, feeling respected. So you're needing a lot of that in your life because they made you feel the opposite way. See what I'm saying? So whatever feeling they planted in you, you're needing to immerse yourself in the opposite energy. You see? So again, if they made you feel rejected and worthless, you're needing to immerse yourself submerge yourself in the energy of feeling worthy by spending time with people who respect you, who love you, by doing things that, make you feel confident, even by like contributing to people who are less fortunate. That can make you feel like, you matter and that you are valued and you have the ability to make a difference. Let me pull one more. Six of Cups. Yeah, so basically this is also saying that reminiscing about the past or being very fixated on the past is going to keep you stuck even further. With the Four of Swords being here, this is like not resting, not having peace of mind. So just try your best to not fixate too much on the negative aspects of the past with this person. And don't let your mind play tricks on you into thinking that they have moved on and they're just, head over heels, on cloud nine. Because that's not the case. But yeah, healthy distractions, are coming up again, because reminiscing about the past too much, even like watching tarot readings and like cross-watching their sign, it's going to keep you very energetically tied to them, and you're not going to find peace this way. So it's like you're needing to move full speed ahead, and it's going to take work. It's going to take work, but you're capable of doing so, and you are going to be successful. You're closing out this cycle a more leveled up person, because the Six of Wands talks about spiritual victory. So this is a very tough spiritual challenge that you've taken on, and you are going to have victory in it. But it's not going to be easy. There's still some work that needs to be done. But the first step is finding a way to fill that need having healthy, positive distractions around you, and trying your best not to fixate too much on the past is what I'm seeing. And I'm hearing that you may not believe this, but something better is going to come into your life to replace whatever this was. And then it's going to start to feel like a distant memory to you, is what I'm seeing. All right, so that's it. I really hope that this was helpful, guys. Yeah, this is a long reading, so I don't think I even need to extend it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that it was helpful, and I will see you in my next video.